special guest, Joseph Kahn and Joey from HumJam. And, if you're watching today's session and you run a digital marketing agency, regardless of whether you focus on SEO, focus on pay-per-click, focus on funnels, you know that getting your clients ranked organically is mission critical. Like, it's super, super important. And the reality is what it takes to get your clients ranked, right? What it takes to actually move them up for the most important keywords in their service area. The paradigm is shifting. I don't know if you've seen this in your agency. I know I've seen it in mine. I would love for you guys to type into the comments a lot of the strategies that used to work extremely well. A lot of like the tried and true approaches aren't working the same way that they did. Like, the clients just aren't shooting up for the most important keywords. They're not retaining their rankings the way that they did in the past. And so it's really important that you remain on the cutting edge, that you understand how the algorithm is changing. And so as part of my goal to help you get better results for your clients so that you can improve retention, so that you can, have your reputation maintained in the industry, I seek out the very best of the best in SEO. And so I recently connected with Joseph and Joey, and these guys are next level. They're really up to date on the cutting edge. So if you're excited about this, type SEO in all caps here in the comments, just so I get a little bit of engagement going. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. And with that said, Joseph and Joey, welcome, guys. I'm so excited to have you here.
Yo, I am super excited to be here. So excited.
Same.
Yes,
appreciate
been
it.
following
Appreciate
you
the
for a long time.
opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much. Super excited to be here.
Fantastic. So just for context, for the group that maybe doesn't know you guys yet, and you're not like a household name in this industry, but you are super, super well entrenched. Like, you understand this stuff inside and out and where things have gone and where they're headed. Just give us like a quick 20-second backgrounder on kind of why we should be listening to you on all things SEO and rankings.
I'm just going to quickly try to cover the last 25 plus years. I started doing HTML in 1994 with the first HTML 1.0 book when Borders books and used to be around. That's where I got my first HTML book. And once I started building my first web page using like Front Page and Hot Dog Pro, these are like old tools. I became like, I'm like, you know what? I can use these tools, and like the tool will make learning. I don't have to know some of this code and stuff. So I was a tools guy right off the bat. Like, I was like, I need a tool to do this HTML because just doing it from Notepad was too hard. So literally, once I got my first web page up, that is, I told you, Josh, the last time we talked, is that it's still up today. That web page is still up today from 1994 and still ranking for the keywords of which we targeted back then. And that Google wasn't a thing back then, but the keywords are still ranking today. That particular page created, and maybe for some of you in local business, it led to the next client, because once one person saw it, they said, hey, this guy's doing web pages. That's the next thing. And so literally, I started a web business in 1994 because people were like, I want one, me too. And so that's kind of how most people get clients, is referral. Like, hey, there's a guy I know, check out Joseph, he'll do it, he'll get it, And so literally that's what happened. And I ended up being a Microsoft consultant. Like, I went to a concert, guy said, what are you doing? And I'm like, web development. He's like, oh, we need one of those guys. And I built an intranet application that literally looks like Facebook in 1997 that won the 1999 Microsoft Project of the Year. So here's a guy who was a warehouse guy in 1994, musician, who now is a Microsoft consultant who wins the top Microsoft award because I started this web page business back in, So literally, from Microsoft consultant, John Maxwell, most people know John Maxwell, hired me as his CIO to take his entire leadership business online in the year 2000. And I did, and the rest is history. Everybody probably knows John Maxwell now. And we targeted leadership. Then Google came to play. Then a lot of stuff came to play. And so we built from there. And then post that time, I became a rock star, got into Bitcoin, and that's where, Joey comes into play. He and I had over 5,000 cryptocurrency, big servers, not little ones. We started with little USBs, but then we built up.
We had international investors from
international investors,
countries, all that good stuff.
Big center. There's a picture of Joey like doing a yes, in front of this
Yeah.
huge server wall. So we kind of got in cryptocurrency. So Joey's kind of in the new school, the crypto, the kind of the growth marketing, that kind of stuff. And I come from way back when on the original HTML 1.0, play into the market space through the corporate world, Deloitte, Cox Communications, Coca-Cola Enterprises. These are projects I worked on with Microsoft on internet apps back during that phrase. But now, fast forward, we went on a rock tour. We got a lot of money in Bitcoin, and so I took my Berkeley degree of music and said, let's go on a rock tour. I got signed to a band, and Joey also was the best guy at the merchant table selling the merchandise right at the back of the rock concert, because we're merchant people. We love marketing. We love that kind of stuff. And so here we are on tour rocking on that. And then all of a sudden the pandemic hits and we're like, wait, we can't do rock. We can't do stuff in person. We can't do this.
Our retirement came to an end, in other words.
Our retirement came to an end. Yeah, our time was over. And Joey's like, you know what? I got a friend who's really killing it in local SEO. Do you want to look at that? I know you used to be into the big time, award-winning kind of guy. Do you want to look back at that again? And I'm like, well, what do we have to do? There's nothing to do. We're stuck inside like most people were. And so I'm that kind of weird guy up here where I'm like, okay, let's do it. And so I went and got certified in everything, because during the pandemic, from Moz, all the Moz education to all the education that costs a lot of money, and all the digital marketing research and marketer tech, some of the things that you see that are thousands of dollars were free during the pandemic. And so Joey and I were munching on that like crazy. Like literally, I was like, let me get this one. Oh, I'm done with that one. Oh, let me get this one. I felt like Neo in the Matrix, where I was like, I can know Kung Fu, give me more. I can know Tai Chi, give me more. And so we literally were, because my previous client, keep in mind, John Maxwell I was the CIO. My previous client happened to be the guy who created Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, all that is our SEO client that we got to cut our teeth on first off. Like literally we had, okay, can you rank us for 10,000 episodes, keywords, characters, all these kinds of things? And we're like, oh yeah, I now have 20 certifications. I've been waiting for this. So we literally took all of our knowledge and took all of our skills and put this down on chuckjones.com, ranked over 10,000 keywords in the top, I would say 5, because Wikipedia beats us out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we compete with Wikipedia and
I know that's not local, but they also have a huge local gallery. So we work on the local GB level. And that was another thing that connected all the dots for us, is so once Joey and I hooked together and we started looking at all these things, I said, you know what? The interesting thing about this, if you look at Google as the auditorium, and you look at everybody trying to get in the number one spot, because we're always trying to get the headline spot. We're always trying to be in the number one spot. There's a spot where people come to listen, and you make the most money if you get in the number one spot at the club, at the bar, what were we always trying to do with the band,
everywhere.
Joey? We always wanted to be in the number one spot. You made the most money. You got the most eyeballs. You got the most people buying your albums. What? So how could you? What are the people there for? You had to match the intention. So once we started thinking about how similar the harmony, the frequency, the rhythm, the SEO, once I started looking at it and got all these certifications, and I took like 1,700 tactics ranking factors and grouped them all up. Like we have this group, that's what we're going to be going over with the team next week. Grouped them all up and said, which ones actually push the ball? Which ones matter? Which one? When you're thinking about writing a number one hit, I went to Berkeley College of Music in Boston. When you think about writing a number one hit, they think about all those things. They think about, what is the person thinking? What are they going to do? Are they going to share this with their friends? And why are they going to share this with their friends? There's all these like connection dots. The key, my partner's like, I can't believe that the key that the song in actually moves the heart, moves the head, moves. So the key of the song matters to match the intention of the song. If it doesn't, that song's not going to be a hit. So that's SEO. That's harmonic SEO, meaning
and it's teamwork, it's leadership, it's all the above, it's all these great things packaged into one.
yeah, into this harmonic thing where the message matches the management, matches the marketing, matches, all of those pieces, because it connects the dots. And what does Google want us to do with entities, with keywords, with connect the dots, you know what I mean? So that the robots can read it, right? Or understand it or whatever as humans. So it's harmony. And that's how we rank over AI stuff. I know Josh probably going to talk about that, but because we can harmonize, because that's a human quality, is building harmony. And so it starts with the intention, like, why are they coming to the club? Why are they going to come to your local business? What's their need? And so that's how we got to where we were in 1994, all the way through kind of this consulting through Microsoft. But I was one of the first guys in 1997, met Bill Gates. They called us the web team. They said if a nuclear bomb hit this thing in 1997, it was called Web Tech Ed. If we would have been hit right then you wouldn't have the web today. Literally, if that, because we had from Bill Gates, we had everybody there that was developing and starting this web development engine back in 1997. I know the internet was way before 1997 with Tim Berners-Lee, but it didn't really take off in the corporate world, because when I first started, I don't know about you, Josh, people are like, I'm not going to put my credit card online. I'm not going to, people still using fax machines in 1997. So the old tactics, with that said, the old tactics we get called in all the time because of our certifications now. And we're building a reputation now with Chuck Jones and some other people. We now are certifying on other tools. Rank Ranger, I do the schema certification. If you want to get schema certified for Rank Ranger, that's me. Like,
don't forget SEO Power Suite.
Oh, SEO Power Suite hired us to do a complete SEO fundamentals course using their tool. It's on YouTube, it's on Udemy, it's on I Am Gold. It's a full SEO Power Suite course. Hired me, and I got to work with their engineer. That was the beautiful thing about it. When we were like, look, we want to be the best at SEO. How do we do that? You got to work with the best, right? So we said, okay, so how do we do that? I'm going to become friends with the best. That's called influence. When you're in the music space, you know that you got to influence. If y'all aren't influencing on the local level, like the news channel, the news people, the carpenter, the whatever, that's influence. That's got to be there. If you want to be the number one position, because those people then influence and comment, most of the time when we see your Facebook pages, they are dead towns. They're like ghost towns. You hear the woo woo when you walk onto these web pages. You're like, they got 5,000
see the tumbleweeds blow by.
but I walk up and I'm like, they got 5,000 followers, but they're all dead. Because nobody's commenting, nobody's doing anything. That's because they're not building that local influence. That's because they're not.
So Joseph, kind of, looking back.
No, that's
right?
what we do. That's the whole.
You learned like the fundamentals of how this stuff works.
Yes.
You reemerged into the industry after COVID. You went through all of the latest trainings, 25 plus certifications. You saw what was working, what wasn't, and then you've really gotten active and started creating your own certifications in this based on your experience and expertise. For the listeners, remember, these are digital marketing agency owners, typically serving the local business. They want to get those clients ranked in their city, in their local market.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the old strategies that you see as you're working with other agencies. And I know you're really active in the agency space now and helping agencies dial in their SEO approach that you see them doing. That's like, that was the way it was done. And so it makes sense that they're doing it, but it's not actually generating fruit for the client. It's wasted money, it's wasted resources.
Yeah. And so what I'm going to say is what we actually see with our eyes. We get hired in to kind of do these forensic audits. Like we run like 25 plus tool audits just to kind of, everything from deep crawl to site crawl to, Jet Octopus to different things that'll just kind of see a big landscape of everything you got. But the biggest issue that we see that is still happening today, people think in the local space, especially if they're outsourcing the work or they have teams that's just churning content or whatever, is they think that the more is better, that just by doing tasks equals results. Meaning when they say to the local SEO says to the client, I'm doing the work. Check the thing. It says that we did 5 blog posts. It says we did 5 social media posts. Check, 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 check. It's all a checkbox. And we did the work. We did the work. We did the work. And that's what I told a team yesterday is, look, local business plumber did not hire you to do a bunch of tactics and tasks. That's not, and if they did, you rip them off because they could easily get all the things that you did. I could do it with my AI tool for free. So you rip them off. They paid you $5 grand and all you did was these tasks. That's the biggest thing we see. And the client, guess what the local client's expecting? They see the tasks and they go, I get you, tasks, work, whatever. They understand that because they pay workers on the field. But what they get on the field is results and quality and happy customers. What they're getting from you is not happiness at all. When they bring us in is because there's a complaint, there's an issue, there's a problem. And we come in and the biggest thing we see is the dashboards. Let's see your dashboards. Well, it shows I did 5 this, 2 this, 1 this. Well, what's happening over here? Oh, look, we're ranking. Here's the number 2 issue to go. This is what we see in the local agency space. Oh, look, no, we're doing the work and we're ranking because they're showing keywords that they're showing that they're ranking for. You're ranking number 1. But when we put all those number 1 things into fill in the blank, SEMrush, SERPstat, any keyword tool, you go, that particular keyword that you're number 1 for has 0 traffic. 0 traffic. Oh, sure, you're ranking for a ton of stuff, says your dashboard. But guess what? When we put all those keywords in the thing, those are not keywords that actually move the dial for your business, get you clients, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I think to your point, right? They're paying us as agencies to know what's going on and to get them ranked, right? And that's fundamental. We want them to rank, but more importantly, right? I want you guys to put a $ in the comments because you get this. They're paying you because they want you to make the phone ring. They want you to bring in new clients, new patients,
Right.
new jobs. And
the
so
CTA.
It's not about the activity; it's about the outcomes.
Correct. And that's what we measure and do, kind of connect the dots here, and we help agencies in the space make sure that we got when we're doing we can talk a little bit kind of about our onboard when we get there, but just looking about the major 2 ways or 2 things, that's kind of the major 2 things. Look, we're doing tasks, and the client can't complain, but they're complaining because they're not getting the phone ringing. They're not getting more. They're spending, but they're not getting.
Could I also add one in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so something I also see a lot is like a lot of people really try to hone in on one thing, but they're kind of missing the full picture,
Like
They're
backlinks.
leaving bread off the table. They're could be, doing more, or, the Google updates change, so, they're really slamming with content, but maybe not graphics, maybe not backlinks, maybe not social media. So, I think a lot of people, they really need to kind of, that's awesome. You're great at one thing. But in today's world, you kind of need to be, or at least be, or have on your team a jack of all trades and be doing all these things together in order to multiply your results instead of just having great results from one piece of the puzzle.
And mainly what he's referring to, that Josh, you probably know, and is a old school method. We're going to talk about this again next week in a big way. The old school method was all built on backlinks, 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 backlinks. Get a backlink, get a backlink, if you want to rank, you got to get a backlink. And there's literally people paying thousands of dollars. Remember the old PBN? And then Google went after the PBNs. If backlinks was a justified way of getting legitimate business, why is Google going after something? You know what I mean? The going after in a negative way means you probably can do it in a more appropriate, better way for your clients. That's not going to all of a sudden the rankings are going to get tanked because you went after something. You know what I mean? So the backlink game still works because it's still, listen, it's all the reason why some things still work and why some things are fading off. It's a fade off game. It's not an instant game, because if it was, chaos would occur in the market space. There would be economic calamity in the market space if Google just cut off everything all at once. So it's a slow roll, but eventually, just like all of the housing and all of it's a slow roll, right? So you want to be where they're going, not where you're going to eventually all your rankings are going to tank, right? That's not where you want to be. And so you want to be kind of slow rolling into where things are going, which is more harmonizing, as Joey's saying. Instead of one thing that works, now you need to add. So you got the cord, you got the main thing, and that's building authority. And the old way to build authority, which was backlinks, the new way to build authority is not backlinks. In some niches, backlinks still work. That's why we get argument and pushback. Oh, it still works. Sure. But here's how we know if it still works. If I'm going to rank number one, if I'm going to go to that club and go, I want to be the headliner of that club, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ask them, who is the headliner of that club right now? What is that called? Competitive research. Now, if the competitor has a ton of backlinks, then backlinks probably still work in that niche. And you probably need to make sure that you're matching your competitor. Okay. So if polka still works in that club, you may throw a little polka into your mix. You may not like it, but if you want to be there, that's what works. That's what people in the auditorium want to hear. You better throw some polka in there. You know what I mean? That's the way it works. You want to be number one, you got to harmonize with Google. You got to harmonize with the local community and see the local community. If everybody in your space that you're competing with has a better business link, you should too. So that's why we do a citation audit. And we make sure that if we're wanting to rank number one, we need to match at least our competitor. And so if you see the competitors now doing more social media, doing now more what we're talking about, you better darn be doing what we're talking about. Because if your competitors are doing it, then that's what you've got to do. If you want to be like back in the day, if you want to beat Led Zeppelin, you have to first be Led Zeppelin. You know what I mean? You can't beat Led Zeppelin until you understand what it takes to be Led Zeppelin. And then you can go to the next level. And so that's why you see Led Zeppelin emulators now, because they learned it and then went to the next level, you know.
So one thing you said on a recent conversation with me that I think resonated was, as you look at agencies, usually they're operating from an old playbook, right? And that's
like backlinks, or just backlinks really well.
Services, pages for each of the cities, unique content, drive some citations, drive some reviews,
Google business,
maybe a little bit of blogging on a monthly basis. And then kind of what drives the engine from there is let's get some links. Let's either get a blog post or let's get some links. And if that's all you're doing in today's environment, you're finding that that's not necessarily going to win the day. And this is where your harmonic strategy comes into play. What would, like, for the agency owners that are listening, I know we've got John Clending on, he works with carpet cleaners. Like, what would some of this, like, the strategies for a carpet cleaning agency be? Like, I work with carpet cleaners. I want to get them ranked. You'd think that's not competitive, but it actually is. Talk us through some of the harmonized approach. Yeah.
So the first step, like, say I wanted it. So this carpet agency wants to be in the main auditorium of the carpet space.
They want their clients. They want their clients to be on the main.
They want the clients. They want number one. They want a headline, basically. So the first thing is you got to create the playlist that people want to dial into, and that's built on the intentions of the market and the space that's around. So that playlist, what we first do in our first step is we ask the client, because we always ask them, they know some secrets that we don't know. What are your usually people when they're coming to you? What are they complaining about? What is their main issue? We ask them first. We're top ranked SEO specialists here. So I can find all your keywords without you telling me anything. But chances are there may be something that they've heard that they know that this is a secret. You know, how many searches that people don't know about in Google that occur?
Also, from a leadership perspective, if I may, when you talk to a business, like when we talk to our clients, like say a local carpet cleaner, they'll typically say, oh, I hate this specific job. So if you were an SEO company and you did your job and you did great and you just got them all of these, steamrolling carpet cleaning, specialty cleaning, but come to find out that's not what they really wanted. They got the money out of it, but they hate doing that. So as a part of our process, just to even ensure success to our customers, we want to make sure, hey, what jobs do you actually want to get more of, and what do you actually want to do?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That way.
Yeah, how many?
Even when we do hit the mark and get the keywords, they're going to make sure it matches
with the kind of jobs they want, right? Pay attention to what the client actually wants. Don't just assume because their search volume that you should focus on that.
Right,
Exactly. It's always money first and client happiness first. And if they hate, like we've ran into that before many times where we killed them with success, and that was because they hated doing a specific job that was, kind of obscure, maybe a little bit, but, got them clients.
say what's common. I know we're walking through a carpet cleaner, but what's common is the HVAC plus plumbing plus electrical, and they hate the plumbing. So, but we're killing it on the keywords in plumbing and sending you so much plumbing business. Like, oh, send me electrical. It's
Right.
like that kind of thing. And that's harmonizing with the client first. I mean, we want to know what your people are saying, what's coming in. And as Joey points out, because I'll miss it every time, is what do you want more of? Because how many times can the SEO agency kill you with success, as he said, send you the wrong clients, send you the wrong people, maybe send you money, but you're like, I wish you didn't send me the money.
It happens. Yeah, it absolutely happens.
Absolutely happens. So
Exactly.
you want to send the right, harmonize with that. And so we call that the playlist. And the playlist is the very first thing. So some of you have packages in the SEO space, a lot that we work with say, we know that if we target 25 songs on the playlist, that's our small package. And then we have 50 songs and then 100 songs and then unlimited. Okay. These could be how you price this out. Those 25 songs are not keywords that are just we're ranking for blah blah blah, like you see on the sheet. We see all the time. We look, oh, you're number one, number whatever, that you see in these tools, and then you put them in any of the tools and you go, well, there's no traffic to these. That doesn't count. We don't want any songs on this playlist that's not going to already have people looking for it, wanting it. So if we're going to dial in our SEO strategy at all, it's going to be on these 25 songs. And guess what? Those 25 songs have NLP connected contextual keywords that go along with that, obviously. So if we target 25 of these songs, you're going to get 50 rankings on things that could be hidden keywords, hidden phrases, things that's going to go along with that. So if we target 25 of the right phrases with traffic, you're going to get a lot of good stuff. And then Google itself is going to tell us what we missed that we could also be ranking for. So that's what we target but the 25 are not just arbitrary. So the first thing we build, and the first thing you should build with the client, together with the client, is these are the 25. And you can put that on a rank tracker, and the client never has to complain about your SEO work from that point forward. Why? You just say, go look at the chart. You pick the 25 with me together, and here's where you are. And this is what you do. This is what we're going to teach in the course. This is what you do. Literally, your client's DA or domain authority. You can look that up. Okay, what is your client's domain authority? And you look and go, the 25 keywords or the 50 or the 100, you can easily see what those domain authorities are of the top ranking of those 25 keywords. Okay. And if you see your domain authority and the competition domain authority, you either have a backlink authority problem, which could include backlinks, citations, Google business posts, things that we can get your domain authority up. And then you literally can make a calculation and say, based on the competition and based on the volume and based on their SEO scores on the competition, this is how many months it's going to take to rank. So the client's never, why am I ranking for this? Right off the bat, you picked a highly competitive keyword, or we're targeting a highly competitive keyword. Your DA is a 19 right now. That keyword is a 31. So to get you from 19 to 31, these harmonic tasks are going to occur to get your authority up. So in 6 months, you should be ranking for that. And you can see your ranking with a rank tracker go up. Meaning, literally, that's where most of the agencies we're working with are missing the ball. They're not tracking the important stuff that gets the traffic. And what we also do with CallRail and some other things is take the keywords that actually get the right prospect, get the CTA, get the phone to ring, get the people to whatever, that connects to now the booked engagement. So you can go, how much did you spend on this from an SEO perspective to get this client? You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally can back in from keyword all the way to the booked engagement and then show the client, look, you're getting a great spend on this. Like your marketing spend right now is killer. And if
We
you
always
do
try to
harmonic,
show the value.
we're ROI first. REO Speedwagon, no.
I thought you were going to have a great analogy, some like unique thing you were doing there. But I get it. You're ROI first. And so
Yes.
as agency owners, right, we want to show our clients results. Sometimes
Yes.
like we pick some easy terms, right? It's like some random city combined with some
Yeah,
obscure
yeah.
service that they actually might do, and you can show them, look, you're number one, right? But if you hang your hat on number one rankings for keywords that don't have search volume,
Then
that's
you got no
smoke and
money.
mirrors, right? And
The
that's
smoke
kind
and mirrors. That's what we were just talking about that before we got on this call. Is most of the time it's all smoke and mirrors. Vanity ranking, I think, is what Joey calls it. It's smoke and mirrors. You know, like HVAC repair, Plano, Texas. Now, I believe that's a good keyword.
That's actually a pretty good term. Yeah.
That's a good keyword. But let's just say,
that.
that's a good term. But something like that.
Trenchless sewer replacement in Kendall, right? Like so,
right,
it's a city and it's a high transaction service, but there's been like 3 people that ever searched that in the last 20 years, right? So, I mean,
that might not be the right intention. Meaning that phrase with that service level area might not be the right intention. So, meaning of the service that they provide. If you get people to your place for electricity, but it's really people wanting to learn how to be an electrician and wanting to get certified and all that kind of stuff, and your local business has a ton of traffic to their electrical page for that kind of stuff, that means you missed the intention mark altogether. Traffic is not good just for traffic's sake. Like that doesn't help if it's not the right topic.
Commercial intent. Like they're actually
commercial
trying to solve
intent
a problem based on that search.
Exactly.
So that says I have a lot of keywords that show no search volume in Ahrefs, but they actually get impressions. They do get clicks. So you're right. There are going to be keywords that generate money that might.
Yeah, like Steph was saying here on the screen. Plenty of keywords that show no search volume in Ahrefs, but get impressions and clicks in GSC. Yeah. Now the search volume, that's why we use more than one tool. He's talking about a tool. We don't just use, because every tool is going to have a different data set and a different compilation. So we use everything from Rank Ranger to SEMrush to Ahrefs to SERPstat. We use more and compare them and average them to make sure that
I don't know how many of you have had a client say, look, I did this SEMrush audit by myself and it said this and you said this.
Yes.
I'm mad,
clients do that. Yeah.
But that's the thing. As a businessman, like I want everybody to be happy. And that's why if you hang your hat on the value and the ROI that's coming in and the phone calls, the bookings, and you had that discussion where you're on the same page and you're getting the right jobs instead of, just arbitrary jobs. You don't have to hide from your customers, and your customers, are your friends who you go on vacation with and take out to dinner, so it's all happy, fun times from there. And that's what we try to teach and help people do. So
the fundamental is like, make sure you choose the right keywords that the client actually wants, that actually have search volume.
Like agree with them together.
Right.
Together, you got to agree together. Like if we're with a record producer and we want to do a #1 hit, we agree together, because if you go against them, it ain't gonna work. So you got to be in harmony together right off the bat, and that's why we never argue with clients. They don't ask us, what is my keyword doing? It's no whininess at all. You know how many agencies we hear where they got whiny clients? They're whiny because they don't know. They're in the dark.
The expectations are
They
wrong.
see tasks, but they don't see phone calls,
Right. And they also don't have the education like many of the agency owners to know what to expect. And a lot of agency owners fail up front in the sales process to kind of educate and nurture the client a little bit to, have realistic expectations.
Yeah. And so a big thing that we work with the sales, we do help a sales team. I know you guys are really big on that, but when we do our harmonic certification, we always have to start with the sales team, because that starts with this level. Meaning if they're selling their guy 25 keywords, we're going to get those ranked, but these are 25 keywords that we have previous clients case studies that show that if we target the 25 main keywords with traffic, you're going to have a value of X. Like this value is here because we're targeting these keywords. And so they're going to be their keywords. And once they agree, then the dashboard you provide them is that keyword, and the ROI this is going to take 6 months. This is like the quick wins. You could easily go, look, you're a 19. The one that's ranking is a 14. You're not ranking for this keyword, but if we put this page up and target all the harmonics, because we have a formula that we're going to deliver, if you do a page with all the harmonics on that phrase, you're going to be ranking next week. And guess what? This already has 150 looking exactly for what you need. We're going to get you ranking next week. How cool is
Oh,
that?
by the
You know what
way,
I'm
the
saying?
cost per click on an air duct job is 148 cents a
Wow.
click.
And think about that. The cost per click. We also show that
And
as
the
a return.
value for the,
Yeah.
however much they pay you is like a no-brainer at that point.
And
So
if you're
I know we
doing,
can't get into all the details on
yeah,
the harmonic
Yeah.
approach and all of the
Yep.
steps, but for the people that are listening, they're like, hey, you know what? I get it, right? Things are changing. I want to know what, if I pick the right keywords and I look at the domain authority of the competition and I know my
Yep.
client is down the list, what are some specific things they could do to increase that without just buying links?
Yes. I mean, I'll give Joey a chance to.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I come in, and I have a bit of a growth hacker background, and I'm a little bit of like a new player, but I've done cryptocurrency advising and wild marketing tactics in that space, and raised
like
money for
Reddit. He's got the
charity
number
and
one Reddit listing still to date.
on
The number
SEO.
one
Yep.
SEO on SEO. Yeah, like the number one SEO rated Reddit thing still to date.
Yeah, so basically, when it comes to Harmony, a lot of these business owners, like the local, carpet cleaner, he just wants to pay you guys or the agency however much just to get it done. When if they really want to be successful in their business, it only makes sense that they would be doing and getting involved in the local area. Like, when you do PR is great, but there are two sides of it, right? If you just do a blanket PR, that might actually hurt you because it's not the relevant town, it's not relevant. But see, if you were involved with your local chamber, or your your local church may have a website, or any of those sort of things, like if you work with and tell your local agent or your local business owner to do these things and share these things on their own personal social media, that's what we love advising those business owners to do, because
Those count.
not only are they getting seen and doing more direct marketing, which is great, but as a result from that direct marketing that we tell them to do, they're getting more authority from backlinks from even government, like,
Yeah,
city
church
pages
backlink
and
is really good locally.
So I think what I'm
exactly.
hearing
So
is like you can't just do this in a vacuum where the client gives you $1,500, you write some content, you follow this formulaic approach where you claim some directories. Like, in order to really be effective in today's market and improve your EEAT, right? You've got to get the client involved and kind of direct them to say, hey,
That's
look,
correct.
if you're going to be a legitimately expert in the Dallas market for these carpet cleaning services, we're going to create a great website. We're going to optimize it. We're going to claim these citations. We're going to get the on-page stuff dialed in with the scheme and everything. But we also need you, as we roll out new content, to share it on social that's relevant outside your own, to share it in your local community, to get involved with the BBB
they're
and
the
the local
best
chamber and
champion
the,
for
and the
their own
BNI,
business.
because that is what's going to seem the most authentic and actually be the most authentic, which can really help you win the day in that local market.
And
Bingo.
I want to add to this because you didn't mention it, but here's the thunder
Yeah.
of all of this is, and what are we doing this for? The fans. The fans. Meaning that's what you need. You need the fans. You need the people, the people, like a Facebook page that doesn't have anybody engaging, has no fans. You need the people shouting, going, these guys are the best. Oh, I love these guys. So that's why in our harmonic formula locally, here's the magic locally, because we didn't even talk about it up to this stage, is that if you don't have this, and we have a tool, we'll reach out to this, with Josh or whatever, but we're going to do demos of a new tool that we developed that's for local people in the local field with their iPhone. It's an iPhone app, like similar ones you see in the market. Ours is a little different because it's connected to an AI creator that is 100% human. It's not the same Chat GPT stuff that's kind of out there, but it literally, the plumber or the designer or the carpet layer or whatever takes the picture. But guess where the magic happens? They take the picture, it gets AI tagged to create content and stuff for when you're with a client, you take a testimonial video. You take a picture of the video client going, man, these guys are fast. They are amazing. They were whatever. You can even queue up the client and tell them how fast it was. Tell them how cool it was. And then use it with an iPhone and they go, okay, done. They press send. It now adds that to the YouTube channel. It now backlinks and adds it to the Google business. It now takes that testimonial and says 5-star because you tell them to click this button that now makes it 5-star Google review. It connects all those things. It makes the cord. And the cord starts where? With the happy customer getting their picture taken and the picture of the work being taken. That's in the local market, dentistry, hairstyle, anything in the home market and it drops a map pin. So it drops a map pin where they're at that says, look, somebody got their carpet cleaned in this area with these tags with this happy customer. That's all the harmony that's got to be connected here. But we have an app that does that. There are some apps out there that do that, like Nearby Now, stuff like that, where they take the pictures and drop. Those are great. Those are doing the one part of the harmony. And that's why our tool connects the other pieces. If you're doing those manually, then Nearby Now works. I mean, if you're also doing those other things, you have a social team, you have a content team, and you're connecting all those dots together with Nearby Now, that's great. But our tool does that same thing and then connects all those other things without you having to get a team member to do it. We've automated it. So that's kind of a thing. And I know we talked a little bit about automation together in a call or whatever. We're also technologists. Back in 1984, I was like, I got to have tools. So that's kind of where we're at. But literally, that's the biggest thing is that reputation, especially for the local business. You got to get that entity. Again, I heard you, Josh, say EEAT, that you got to get that trust in there. And that for the local business, that is better. I mean, that increases the domain authority is the GB, the Google reviews, stuff like that, Facebook reviews. That increases your authority from the EAT score perspective. And you may not see that in SEMrush. So when we do a competitive analysis, we're going to look at their Google reviews. We can see how many Google reviews, if they're 4-star, 5-star. We'll also do that as an audit. Most local SEO companies don't audit the reputation authority, which you should do because that's your competition.
We also audit the social media as well because you know that's a big sign of
all that. If you're competing against Led Zeppelin, you're going to go. Yeah, if you're competing against the band that's got the #1 spot, you got to go, what does their social look like? What does their directories look like? What you audit all those things, and then you go, you know what? We at least know what we've got to get to as a baseline, and then we're going to harmonize better than them. Now we're going to innovate, and we're going to say, what does the market want that they're not providing? You know what I mean? And so we're going to be unique from that perspective. But again, it starts with a playlist, the client, and their playlist, and then you just target the playlist. And then again, once that playlist is established in those spaces in which you're servicing, you connect all the reputation dots, then those just bump up. Now you got spotlights. So the reputation dots is like a spotlight.
How would you connect those dots?
Which ones? Google. So the beautiful way, just for everybody on the call, if you're doing this manually, if you take a reputation video, so if you take a video of the work being done, have your clients take a picture or use Nearby Now or whatever, drop the map pin that connects that dot. Okay. But that map pin drops to the image that you now immediately need to now post to your GB. Okay. As a look at the job we just finished. Okay. Look at the images, those images in the job you just finished with a paragraph with the keyword tags that's targeting that thing needs to be immediately posted after you get the testimonial video. Okay. That's just connecting the dots like you would in a rock band. Okay. Once that's connected, now you've got a YouTube that you can now backlink to your website. Okay. So you're going to go into YouTube and that area where you can do a more area where you can add your own links and your own. I know you like to do it where you add times where people can kind of click in or whatever. You add that backlink to a post that talks about that work that you just completed, where you take the portfolio pictures, you write a 3-paragraph report, you link to the GB, you link to the YouTube video, however, those all link back to this article. You know what I'm saying? You connect
and then
all those
you
dots.
Share that YouTube video on every social media you have.
So not only are you sharing the YouTube video, you're sharing the portfolio review of the project, you're sharing the GP, you're sharing all of your socials of that blog post. Okay, so if you have Twitter, if you have your Facebook page, if you have your any of those pages and Twitter, you're also blasting it out there too. Look at the work we did. Look at the work we did. Kind of thing. And people who are like, oh, I'm looking for that. They see that in social media and they engage. Or what we do is our social media engagements are the latest and greatest ones that encourage the engagement. I see a lot of social media that are outsourcing social media work, like Facebook. They're doing posts and pictures or whatever, but they're not asking, hey, hashtag if you want our 50% deal off of the day.
They're not asking for the sale.
Yeah, they're not asking for the engagement. They're not asking for the person chat with me and do, you guys do that. Like the people in the coaching space or whatever are awesome at this. Okay, like Josh, you're a master.
Plus one in the comments if you'd like to get my latest XYZ, right?
Oh yeah, but see, why aren't the local businesses doing that on their social media posts? Put a +1 in the comment if you want the deal for your HVAC cleaning of the day, and we'll give you and then as soon the 2-step. The person comments, I want the deal for my HVAC cleaning. And then the person comments and hearts it and says, I'll send that to you in your DM. They don't post it there. Now they started a conversation in the DM, right? And then they post it there. All those dots, the machine, the AI sees all that. Now,
I think the big idea here that for the average agency owner, or most agency owners, is we're doing a lot of this stuff on behalf of the client in an echo chamber. Because we don't think that they actually have followers on social media that are real. And we don't think that they have anyone that's ever going to read that blog post that you just created or look at that page that you just set up. You're literally just putting that out there, hoping that you can get it ranked in the search engines.
Yes.
Where the
agencies
that win figure out a way to engage with the real local audience on social media, on email. So when you do create, let's say, a new blog post, it should be good enough that you can send it out and expect their customers and their prospects to be like, hey, that looks cool, and go to the page, right? That's the kind of signal you want to pass through harmonic SEO to build your client's authority and beat the competition, because everybody else and all of the other agencies are just checking the box. They're writing content
they're just doing
keywords in it, and it's got 650 words, and they're just putting it on the site, and they're just kind of leaving it at that.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And you mentioned one of the keys to actually kickstart that. Okay. Having the good engaging content is the first step, but it still may be ghost town. Okay. Because you didn't build that relationship, right? So you still may go, oh, look, I'm doing what you said about creating engagement content. I said 2-step, but nobody's 2-stepping. You know how you make them 2-step? I bet everybody knows what's the biggest thing for agency, the database reactivation, right? So guess what? The best way to reactivate your database to your social media. You go to your CRMs, your go high levels, you go out to your list, all your client list, and you go, hey, guess what? We now have coupons for HVAC. Go to our new page, go engage on our Facebook page if you want the latest deal. Don't give them the latest deal via the CRM anymore. Don't give them the latest deal via email anymore. Tell them they have to go to your social media if they want to get the latest coupon and engage to get give your prospect a task to do. If they want the teeth cleaning, you got to go to my social media and say teeth clean. You know what I'm saying? Like literally you gotta encourage them. Like if you're creating a fan base, which is your database reactivation, where all of your juicy bits are, those people, if you give them incentivize, will juice up and get you now looking like a rock star socially if you're doing it correctly. And that's what we would do in a rock star world. What do you say when you're trying to fill up the club? To make the club owner think that you are a real rock band, you call all of your family and friends from here till Timbuktu and say, show up. Yeah, pack the house. You got to personally pack the house to but to show, look, we are a real rock band. We have people, and then they'll advertise and put you in a better spot.
But Joseph, you remember how to promote a band. So, and here's how to promote a local business, because it's basically the same way. And a lot of people don't think about this. If you tag the local city that you're in on the Facebook post itself, or in the Twitter post, the hashtag, whatever, and you link that to a picture of that place, and then you have some of your friends like it, get it started a little bit, things take off from there. And that's how you get the strangers from the internet leveraging your local customer, or your local connections, your friends and family, that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
There are public pools like forums, like different threads on social media, but you got to leverage some of your real life uniqueness in that in order to really tie it all together. Otherwise, Google and just anybody doing their research really will think that you're a real business and not just kind of faking it here or there or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I love
For
it.
sure.
So I mean, like, I love the concept. We talked about the harmonic approach and kind of the we want to choose the right keywords, we want to do the right on page. Then we've got to build the authority and build that EEAT. You've mentioned some tools. Can you talk about, like, I know we're going to be doing a masterclass for 7-figure agency members over the next 6 weeks
To bring all this out, because we're
Yeah.
deep on this. So you can't
Yeah.
cover this in a 30-minute, 45-minute session.
Yeah.
But if you had to list like the top 3 to 4 tools that the average agency owner should be using to do their research, to build their authority, what would those be?
Yeah, so there's a lot of really great local tools that I know. It's a combination of different tools, and really we say when it comes to doing keyword research, when it comes to just doing that stuff, really they all work somewhat the same. So from Ahrefs to SEMrush to SERPstat, we use SERPstat not for keyword research. I'll give what we use for keyword research because we think there's some special stuff in them. But the average ones can be used for the purposes, and all the purposes is just to find the playlist. You're just looking for the 25 that you can put on a spreadsheet and sort by search volume, DA, authority, and then with the client, you can bring the client. Go ahead.
Each tool has a unique database at some
They have
degree.
a unique database. That's why we use more than one. But if you have a limited budget, you can use just one. But then you go with the client on the 50 that's got the the volume, and you and the client pick the 25. You know what I'm saying? They will sort with their own brain and go, this one looks better or whatever. And you all sort, and go, you may get the other ones by magical accident, but these are the ones we're focused on. Right. And so, so any of the keyword ranking tools I use, it's now called SurgeGraph. SurgeGraph is a great tool. It's still being developed. It used to be called LSI Graph, but I know people hate the term LSI now. They don't like that. They're like, they want to argue on that. So they don't call it that anymore. It's called SurgeGraph. But what it finds is contextual, relevant NLP. It uses the NLP algorithm, entity-based. So it's kind of like a surfer. So when we do content writing, I know Joey loves, we're an ambassador for Surfer SEO. I know a lot of people like that tool and use that tool just to do some on page, make sure we cover the right keywords and stuff. But we're targeting the keyword that's on the 25, and then it tells us a ton of keywords to add to that you could also rank for.
Exactly.
So
In those audits, you throw one keyword in, and then it just packages it together for you just to write it. So yeah, it makes it easy in that process.
So we take the keywords and we put it through SurgeGraph, also Ahrefs, SEMrush, and see. But generally, if there's something that the other one didn't see, we'll add it to a spreadsheet. So we're just building a spreadsheet with the DA, the search volume, that kind of stuff to take to the client on that first onboard meeting to agree on the ones. Then we use SERPstat to actually track and rank Ranger because we're ambassadors for them, but depending on the client and the keywords. Because if we're doing a local business, will use SERPstat, and literally all 25, you start tracking it every day. You're looking at that keyword, where it's at, where it's in the volume every single day, and you produce that in a report for your client. So your client literally sees the 25, where they're currently ranking. And if it's 0 because there's not a web page, you could be web page created on this date. You know what I mean? Like you could literally say the web page isn't created yet. It's in your target. It will be created, but it's not going to come until week 3 or week 4 or whatever. So some of those keywords may not have content created yet. You know what I'm saying? When you pick it, you go 5 pages already have content created that could rank for that word. 20 don't have content yet. We got to create it. And that goes in your plan, how much you're charging on that kind of stuff. So we use ClickUp to manage all of these little dots. So you either use a tool like Bright Local. We think Bright Local is a great tool for citation audits, Google business, automations and stuff like that. So if you're using Bright Local, great tool, but we see people using it incorrectly all the time. We're like, oh man, if they just did this, that, and the other thing. Like so Bright Local, is a great tool for doing the GP audits. And again, competitive audits, you want to know how many citations your competitor has, and you want to match those. You want to make sure you're not missing the mark there. And the Bright Local is great for that. And then Surfer Local. Most people don't know that Surfer, the SEO company, the keyword tool, has a local tool that's amazing. That includes like how audit lists. It audits it locally. It shows you where you're ranking and the target.
And it has a really cool bubble graph that, you know, people like to ooh and ah over, that shows
most people see these
how
local
competitive a city is.
Per keyword. So the local, it's called Surfer Local, and it's a new tool that they're testing and coming out with. It's just a game changer. It's going to be like in competition with Bright Local. But literally will give you that where you're ranking. You put the keyword in, it'll show you the map with all the little
with the grid and the whole
nine yards. It's not a grid, it's like round.
It's like a bubble. It's like this unique
like a radiant
grid.
Oh yeah, it's like a radius. It does a radius, and you can say go further out or further in, and it'll go from green to red, you know, and it'll give you the numbers where you're actually ranking. So you can see, well, dude, I'm not ranking in Norcross. And you go, oh, well, I don't have a Norcross page, but you literally can see it on that and go, let's create a Norcross page because we want to, you know, and then do a Google business, because it tells you if you're going to do this, you need a Google business link that will link with that, with these tags. So it tells you literally what tags, what keywords, whatever, to get that keyword in that local area. So it's from Surfer. That's a one that we also are testing and using. I believe that's available to the market. But
I hadn't heard of Surfer Local yet. That sounds pretty interesting. I know Surfer SEO. It's like a key tool for your content strategy. And
it's I've been beta testing it for the last 7 months.
Beta testing. Yeah,
amazing.
I think they're live. Yeah, I've been testing GrowFlow before GrowFlow. I think GrowFlow just released too. GrowFlow is another cool tool. If you have Surfer, if you have the Surfer engine, you probably have GrowFlow. GrowFlow is a cool tool. If you have an SEO person that's like, I don't know what to do. What do I do? Somebody needs to tell me what to do. If you got like one person, GrowFlow will take that one person on your team and direct them for everything they need to do. Like, it's great. So the new Surfer GrowFlow, I think it's included into their pro plan, will basically you hook all your clients in that, and then it'll tell you, here's what you're ranking, here's content you need to create, here's internal links. It's great at internal siloing. GrowFlow, new Surfers, new GrowFlow tool will do all that for you. I think that's live and available. I was telling everybody about it during Christmas, and people are like, we're logged in and we have no idea what you're talking about. So I think it's live.
Hopefully you might be getting a little preview to some things coming out by the Surfer group.
We'll show you next week. We're literally going to show you Surfer Local and all this next week in our call.
So seven-figure agency members, again, we are going to be doing a masterclass starting next week on Tuesday, every week going deep on each of these strategies to improve your rankings. If you happen to be listening to this and you're not a member yet, reach out to me. Go to sevenfigureagency.com. We can definitely get you on board, get you into the program, and get you access to this. I want to go deeper on one thing, actually two other things before we wrap up. But one thing you mentioned was ClickUp. And I'm a big fan of ClickUp, and I know a lot of the agencies in the program use it. But you mentioned, in looking at some of the agencies that you work with, kind of a misunderstanding of how to use it. Talk to us a little bit about where you see agencies failing to properly get the full benefit from the platform.
Yeah, it's so funny. So I literally, out of 800,000 people last year, was in the top 10 of ClickUp VIPs, which I was just like, what? Do I use it that much? And Joey's like, yeah, you're constantly on.
He does.
Like, I'm insane about it. Like, I'm such a ClickUp fan for over 3 years. Like, you know, when we started our agency, I'm like, there's way too many. Remember I told you, like, over 1,700 tasks?
Well,
I'm like, there's way too many tasks. I'm like, there's way too many tasks. And I'm like, ClickUp. So I went through Asana, through, you know, all the ones, like from Notion to everything you can think of. And ClickUp, what I liked about ClickUp was, and this is where everybody misses. And does anybody know? Do you know, Josh, ClickUp's famous phrase, what they market constantly? Do you know what they say? We will save you a day a week, guaranteed. Do they save you a day a week right now, Josh, guaranteed? Probably not, because you're not using the thing that actually saves you a day a week, which is automations. Every regular account, so not the free accounts, but the ones that you pay for your members, includes 30 or 25,000 automations. Now, what that means is that when we set up tasks, and you can set this up on templates. So If you're using HubSpot, Go High Level, makes no difference. If they drag to signed deal, wherever your signing mechanism is, if it's signed and paid, then automatically a template gets created in ClickUp for us using Zapier, okay? Gets created automatically. That ClickUp template now has automations for all the harmonic local tasks. Everything that needs to be done is in that package, small, medium, large, whatever got bought, got drugged, automated. And that automated the first person. So if you have a person on your team, the very first step is check the onboard, set up the onboard, do all that kind of stuff. They get notified. So you didn't have to do nothing. Your salesperson closed the deal. Your team started to work without anybody mentioning, saying anything, and knew exactly what to do. Why? Because we have everything on SOPs, everything telling them what to do. You could take robots and do it, and we do. We have a tool that does everything also. So if you have a team that wants to do it, then literally if they onboard's done, the 25 keywords, the 50 keywords based on the package are chosen. The unified data source is in one location. ClickUp, all the images, all the keywords, all the results, all the spreadsheets, everything is in ClickUp at a single data source. You could be saving time there too. Meaning once that you need the graphics team to do the images, original images that match the keywords that were chosen, they get a separate task. When that's done, that automates to go to the blog writers who can use those images now that are marked for their task. That gets automated. The person who has to review, once the content and everything's created, that gets automatically sent to the person in charge of that when the person marks ready for review. All this also has times associated with it. How much should this take? How much should this take? How much should this stay in this phase, meaning review or research or whatever? How long should it be in there? Based on those things, and you can easily fill out a spreadsheet. If you don't know those details, we know those details. Like how long should this blog post take to write? We've seen up to 2 hours all the way down to, it should not take 2 hours. Okay. But we've seen up to 2 hours. Teams taking 2 hours to get it done. But if it goes past that threshold with ClickUp, you can automate an email to the team member saying, hey, should this be passed on to somebody else? Are you having a problem? Can we redo the SOP? Do you need training? Like, why is this taking 2 hours? This literally, it flags you automatically. We saw a ton of agencies, their project manager spending 18 hours in 1 week following up with people. Did you do the task? Did you do the task? Did you do the task? And the people who was assigned the task never responded to that project manager in ClickUp. Never. When we reviewed it, we're like, did they respond? How did you find out if they actually did the task if they didn't respond in ClickUp? And they go, well, I don't know. The customer's not complaining. I think it's done. How do you not know it's done? We'll see if that person would have clicked this, then it would have told you and it would have marked on the dashboard. Like literally everything's automated. So this whole harmonic formula, we've said, what are all of our tasks? And if you're using ClickUp, say, what are all of our tasks? Encapsulate it, but you need, in order to make this work, this is why we come in and audit. How much time do those tasks do you estimate should take to complete? That should be in ClickUp for the task. And then all of your team running tasks should be timing it. Meaning when they're doing the task, they click play. And then when they're done, they click stop. Or if they didn't do that, oh, I forgot. You can key that in. You can go, well, this took me 20 minutes. Like you can key it in, it'll let you do that, even if you didn't press play. So you press play. Joey knows I'm insane about tracking every little thing I do because it's all about efficiency, make it better, making it quicker, and can I automate it? And so ClickUp has, again, you will save a day or a person on your team. You'll save an entire person if you automate ClickUp. ClickUp will become a team member.
But for those who work with overseas or teams that aren't conjoined in an office, once you have your dashboard set up correctly and you have your SOPs or the standard of what you're doing, then you can see who's underperforming, who's overperforming. You can see what tasks take the most resources, and so much cool data that lets you make decisions as a business person to make a difference in your agency and in your clients' businesses. Like just from knowledge is power.
I love it. I think, to your point, I think the big opportunity for most agencies that are using ClickUp, and in our agency included, is we're using it like a task management system, right? It's like, okay, here's the 19 tasks. and just using it to check the box. And you could do that in pretty much any of the platforms. It's really understanding how to go next level with some of these automations that really make it efficient and make it effective. I'm really excited about learning some more about that in the master class. I want to shift gears to one last thing, and I'm not sure if Joseph, if you got.
All right, I think we lost Joseph.
And it might just be you and me, Joey. Let's talk a little bit about content automation, like ChatGPT, some of these new technologies that are coming down the pipe. Good, bad, or indifferent. Like, what are your guys' perspective on those platforms?
Yeah, so AI is getting crazy, and my name's Joey Trend. And I try to stay on the next thing, the newest thing. So we've done a lot of AI research and really a lot of testing on ChatGPT and some graphics AI tools and stuff like that. But basically, we were thinking, how can we create a solution for businesses that isn't the special touch, high dollar gig, but also provide them with everything they need to rank. And that's what I think AI is heading towards is, a hands-free solution to these easy tasks, that you really shouldn't be having your team member do because number one, it's kind of a brain dead task. And, like they don't like doing it, it's a win-win in that case. But if you're asking about automations and the technical aspect, that's more of Joseph's wheelhouse. But that was a bit of the vision of why we decided to get an AI and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's being rebranded right now. It's in beta, and we were a couple of your clients, Josh, we're testing it with, is going to be coming out in the next quarter. It's going to be coming out before the 6 weeks is over. Nice. It's called Hawk Local, and it literally is like a Nearby Now, but the difference is if you have agents, because a lot of clients may have new startups, new dentists, new carpenters, new things like that. Can't afford a $5,000 thing, can't afford a $2,000 thing. So if you just want to run it'll build your website, it'll do the blog posts, it'll take the review pictures, it'll do your GB
it'll give
posts,
them everything they need to act and do business like a real business would.
For an economical price, because you don't need the ClickUp or the team to run it. It runs itself. However, if you do have the ClickUp and you still want to run our tool, it's great. It's a great supplement or complement because those high dollar engagements, now you can focus on marketing them better and doing real content and do your special touch and let it do the harmonics and lift, like automatically.
Let the AI do the grunt work, and then you come in.
ChatGPT. I heard that as I came on. I'm on beach internet, everybody, so I apologize for freezing out there. But I'm in San Diego here by the beach, so sometimes my internet goes out when the wind blows, it seems. But ChatGPT, that's something we're seeing local agencies do right now, and we've been studying it from before it even came out. And so right now, the scary thing about that, we see local agencies using it on local clients' content or copy live without editing it or respin it. We're not an affiliate of Word.ai,
right?
But
just to reiterate, do not under any circumstance.
Don't just put it into ChatGPT.
Do not.
Right. Don't post raw ChatGPT code.
Don't post raw ChatGPT. It's watermarked, and what that means, because I know we were talking about this with Josh last week. The watermark means, because everybody's like, what does that mean? There's an image on the content. They can't fathom what that means. So what that means, it's really simple. Okay. All a watermark is an imprint, right? So just think nouns, verbs, adjectives. Now, AI is using those three things. Any spinner uses those three things to spin content, right? Noun, verb, adjectives. So the placement of those three things on a piece of content that gets spun can easily be seen by a robot as an image, as an imprint, as a watermark. ChatGPT spins a lot of their sentences with the same noun, verb, adjective context. The person who programmed it that way, right? And so that means once Google knows what that algorithm is with that noun, verb, adjective thing, that becomes a watermark that can be seen. Google can see it, that you just posted Chat GPT and are expected to rank. They're not going to rank that. Okay. You'll get punished for that. But you can take a spinner that can do 100%, analyze your content, make sure it says 100% human. If it says 99 for sometimes, you see Jasper, people using Jasper, use Jasper until it says 100% human. Don't let it go at 98% or 99%. That's not good enough. In the AI world, that will punish you. Maybe not now, but it will in the near future, meaning Google doesn't want all AI written content. Otherwise, it could just publish the internet itself. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't need you if all it needed was a robot. So it's not going to say it wants humans. But it does save our time by doing, we do use AI, but our AI builds a database of the local business. So we know your service area. We know your local area. We know the church down the street. We know the neighborhoods that goes into our AI. So when it spits out content, it uses all of that stuff in it. You know what I mean? It's like builds its own database about the local.
It trains itself on your
It trains
needs,
itself.
your
and
business.
The more it posts, the more jobs you post, the more it trains itself about you and your entities and what you do in the local space. So that's what you got to do manually if you don't have AI doing. So for AI, for us, it's not necessarily spitting out content. It's just a tool that helps us get the right content in the right places. You know what I mean? But we do eyeball and double check, and AI is never perfect. So we have approval process in our tool. Before, you can say everything can be published automatically, but you can also say this needs to be reviewed before it goes automatically. Until our engine learns about you, it could make some mistakes. Meaning it could say you're the #1 agency in repairing your swamp pump, and you may not do that. It could accidentally do that because it saw swamp pump and you're, but if then you go in and correct it and like, no, we don't do swamp pump, then it won't do that again. It'll learn as it goes. But that's kind of what we use AI for, is the automations in ClickUp, automating this tool. All these tasks can be automated, with the right programmer. And then the spinning, we use the word.ai API to spin anything we have the AI content writers write. So we have another tool like Jasper's using, that writes the content based on our data set, but then we'll spin it in the word.ai API that makes it more naturalized and human and score 100% on human. And then we eyeball it before it gets released. Or we have some clients, the cheaper clients don't get eyeballed, only the expensive clients. The cheaper clients is just fully automated from picture to ranking to everything. They don't touch it. We don't touch it. Those are like our $500 a month solutions for local startups that don't have the cash. But once they get to the level where they need a prettier website, it don't produce a pretty website. It produces a good localized website for your phone. You go look at it on your desktop. You're like, this is a horrible looking website. Yeah, because they only pay $500. If they're on the $2,500,
well, it's not a horrible looking website. No, don't say that.
It's like, you remember AMP when AMP came out? Like AMP pages. It's kind of like an AMP. It's a little bit sexier than AMP pages, but it's really fast for local people looking for plumbing or
it's no nonsense, no fancy graphics added on top of it.
Yeah, but if they paid for a higher package.
Follow-up question on ChatGPT stuff there. You mentioned the human check generator. A couple of people asking, what tool do you recommend to check what percentage is human versus robot?
The open.ai has the human checker. I would just use that. Just use the open.ai where it has the checker. It'll check, if you need a link, I can get the link. But the open.ai place where you also do ChatGPT has a human checker that will check that score. But word.ai is the spinner that you can also pull from the API. You can use their API if you're doing a builder or doing a tool yourself. It's really, read the science behind it. It is the best. I've researched and tested every engine out there for the last 2 years. This tool that we have that we're developing that's coming out in the market here in the next month is 2 years in development. So it's not like it just came out, meaning we've been working on it for the last 2 years. So, and it's growing in AI for the last 6 months. blasted into
Yeah, it's
the
just
stratosphere.
skyrocketed.
Yeah, AI just made the development of it just go because we're like, what? We can fire all of our teams? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But literally, you could. I mean, there's a lot of teams you may go, you know what? We don't need them now because this writes better content than they do. So if you take our content engine writer, which kind of uses a Jasper type thing, and then takes Word AI and spins it, and then uses our data entities in that content, and you go, wow, this is better than my offshore team, then it's like,
or you might
that's a good day.
Oh, I got one really strong writer and 8 really weak ones that I still have this huge output to do. But then that one really strong one using the AI can 10 times their output, and you might find, oh, it's time to, revise the team. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have a lot of people revising teams based on these new strategies because that's the thing that AI provides. Old accounting teams used to have 18 accountants in a room, and then Intuit came out with some software, fired 17 of them.
Automatically brings in all the transactions. And, it's like, okay, I don't need, someone to hand type all this stuff anymore. Right.
I don't need so you went from 18 accountants to 1 accountant. And guess what that 1 accountant was? A tools person who became really good at
leveraging that system. Right. I think it's a great analogy for kind of where this is headed and how agencies can be more efficient and kind of on the cutting edge of that.
Yes.
This has been great. We talked about harmonic SEO. We talked about kind of the shifts in the way SEO works and some things you need to be thinking about as an agency to generate better results, be more efficient, retain your clients at a higher level. 7-figure agency members, again, next week, Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be kicking off our 6-week series, masterclass on how to do this stuff. For those of you that aren't members and are interested, reach out. But if you want to get to know more about HumJam, Joseph and Joey, what's the best way for them to connect with you guys?
Our website's easy. It's just humjam.com. That's under rebrand right now, but I'm Joseph S. Kahn. Remember the S in the middle because the actual Joseph Kahn is the main guy for Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake. Like, it's hard to compete with that authority. So Joseph S. Kahn is on all socials, Twitter, Joseph S. Kahn, YouTube, Joseph S. Kahn, or josephskahn.com to get our harmonic ranking factors for free. We have a free guide on that if you want to check that out. And
yeah, for me, my catchphrase is this. I'm Joey Trend. Every social media, if you're on it, I'm on it. And I probably have a couple thousand followers or more on it too. But I'm very active on social media, Twitter, Facebook, DM me or chat me, any of that good stuff. I'm always open to chat.
Definitely.
Awesome stuff. So if you're listening and you got value from this, press like, press subscribe, share this with somebody that can benefit. Guys, thanks so much for sharing. I'm super excited about unpacking this deeper over the next 6 weeks with you and helping everybody in 7-figure agency up their game, generate better results, be more confident with their delivery, raise their prices, and just most importantly, knock it out of the park for our clients so they can grow and they can scale. So that's it for today. Thanks again, guys. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll talk to you again soon.